Hello, everybody. It is College Hoops tonight. Brian Kenny and Digger Phelps here with you. And now things, they look and they feel a little different. Not so much that it was done, but how it was done. We'll break that down for you. Number 1, Duke. Number 3, Maryland. The winner grabs first place in the ACC. Coach K and Duke. They took the first meeting, Digger, by 21, but that was at Duke. Different story for Gary Williams at Cole. First half, Steve Blake to Chris Wilcox inside. Terps start the game off 10-2. Duke, they look a little rattled. Maryland inspired. Chris Wilcox, 23 points, 11 rebounds. He had 6 offensive rebounds. Steve Blake, Taj Holden, and the roll. Meantime, Jason Williams on the other side. Those days should have stayed in bed. Williams, top players of the country, and then some. Tough man-to-man defense by Blake. Duke just trying to withstand the flurry. Mike Dunleavy with 3. He had 10 in the first half, but Maryland just beefy in the paint.
Points in the paint. Look inside, makes a big pass. Double team comes over. Lonnie Baxter slams a great pass from Wilcox. Now Blake coming down. Reads a great inside to Mouton. Maryland up 9.
Hey, defensively in the paint. Lonnie Baxter, who's cooking steak, pumping that out. Dante Jones rejected. Terps by 11, and there'd be more. Reacting, there's Chris Wilcox again, all the way in. 9 in the first half. Home floor going wild. 3-point shooting, just awful.
Duke loves shooting the threes, but not today. Dante Jones, open, off the iron. Jason Williams, his turn. Left side, nothing. Now Chris Duhon. Duke shoots 4 for 17 from the 3-point range in the first half. Can't make the threes? Well, let's see if we can go to the hole. Jason Williams goes one-on-one. Not by Lonnie Baxter, slams it back. But here's the key to the game. Halftime. Maryland goes to a 2-3 zone. Duke thinks, all right, we'll go for the last shot. Down 7, but when Jason Williams looks to the bench, there goes Blake, steals it. Puts Maryland up 9 before halftime. That was a killer. I felt this was a great steal. Steve Blake takes it. Duke could have cut it to 7 to hit a 3. Instead, no. 9-point halftime go in that locker room. Make it happen here. Steve Blake, to me, was MVP. Great assist. Boozer, he's supposed to switch on this. No. Blake takes it down the middle, dumps it. Lonnie Baxter gets an easy 2. Steve Blake again, one of his 13 assists. Backdoor cut. Wilcox takes it in. Unbelievable. Good job. Now.
Jason Williams after this on 3.
But watch this. Down the length of the floor, Duke doesn't get back. They come back, make this big 3.
Juan Dixon, 17 points in the game. Terps only took 9 3-point shots, made 2 of them. Second half, getting help from everybody, Digger.
Inside points. Mouton again. One-on-one. Look at the freeze coming off. Great things happen. Watch the collapse inside. Dixon's open. Great pass again. Maryland did a great job of moving the ball. Duke a little lazy on defense, but Duhon Dunleavy makes it. But look at the length of the floor. Great pass. Duke doesn't get back on defense. Dixon gets an easy 2.
Now, less than 8 minutes left. Duke down by 18, but hold on. Not over yet. Daniel Ewing got that. The trailer sparked from the freshman. 15-point game. Could they have another comeback at Cole? No, not this time. Wilcox on the foul. His career-high 23 with his 11 boards. Final seconds of the game. That'll do it. They withstand the comeback this time from Duke, taking it convincingly. Last year, Duke came back twice to break their heart. Not this time. 12 for 24 from the free throw line as well.
Well, Steve Blake didn't fall out at home this year, and for him being in the game, he gets it done. But understand, Williams and Boozer, 13 points combined with 10 minutes and 29 seconds left in the game. That really hurt. Duke goes 12 for 24 with free throws, 7 for 33 shooting threes. Maryland's defense and the fact that Steve Blake shut down Jason Williams, that's the reason why they won.
Terps take out number 1 and take first place in the ACC.
It feels great. I mean, to be here, to win the game is one of the biggest games of the year so far for us. And it's a lot of joy that we could get this for Coach Williams and my teammates and the fans here at Maryland.
It means a lot to me. It's something I never got a chance to accomplish that feeling, winning the ACC regular season title. So hopefully we can get it done this year.
Everybody was billing this as, the game for their entire program. And so they were really into it. Whereas we do that a lot. And maybe, we overlooked them. Maybe we didn't take we didn't take the precaution that we needed to, but they were certainly more into it at times than we were.
They played like a veteran team, and they deserved to win. I mean, they were outstanding. So Gary had his team extremely well prepared, and the team that should have won, and they won in convincing fashion, and we made a good run at the end, but the game was never in doubt.
Well, he's right. First meeting between the two. Maryland blown out in the second half on Sunday. Even with a cold spell, Maryland shooting 55% then in the second half. And Duke, we mentioned the free throw shooting. They were 1 for their first 8, so they had to go on a run to even get to that point. Let's go to College Park. More on this now. Andy Katz and Brad Daugherty were there courtside.
Thanks, Brian. After the game, Duke's players talked about how maybe they weren't ready for this. Maybe Maryland actually wanted this more. That was clearly the case when you talked to the Maryland players and the atmosphere here at Cole. But the big question, Brad, is how did Maryland sustain this? Because that had been the problem going against Duke, really sustaining it into the second half, especially in Duke's last 9 games.
Well, Andy, I think what they did really well, I think you have to give a lot of credit to Juan Dixon. Last ball game at Cameron, he struggled shooting the basketball, and this team relies on his leadership. He came out tonight, was very aggressive, put a lot of pressure on Duke's defense, made them guard him on every area of the floor, and then you have Chris Wilcox. Huge basketball game, 23 points, 11 rebounds, extremely active, kept the ball alive. They were very intense from the opening bell, and they were able to continue that intensity to the end of the ball game.
Especially defensively, and especially Steve Blake on Jason Williams, maybe his best performance on Jason Williams, and one of those was a key play to end the first half. In a rare unforced mistake, Duke's Jason Williams looked back to try and hear what play coach Mike Krzyzewski was calling out in the final possession of the first half. When he did, Steve Blake lunged forward, picking Williams clean for a layup for a 9-point halftime lead instead of a potentially tighter 4-point game.
I think it's huge. I mean, the momentum could switch in one play. If they get a big shot, make a 3 at the last second or something, it could change the whole momentum of the game. Instead we took it away from them and scored.
It was a momentum changer that we wish we could have had back, but give him credit. He took advantage of a point where we weren't paying attention.
Steve was aware that Williams was looking back at the bench, and when he just inched up a little bit in the second time Williams looked back, he had a shot to get it.
Blake continued to be a pest for Williams in the second half, blocking 3 shots and never letting him go off like he did for 34 points against Maryland last month. Williams finished making 6 of 22 shots, and Blake was around for every one of them after fouling out in last season's game with just 1:51 left before Williams scored 8 points in the final minute to erase Maryland's 10-point lead.
But it felt great this time to be on the floor and to be able to control it and not let anything slip away by just watching. So it felt great, and I'm just so happy right now.
Steve has really long arms, and he plays good defense, and their whole team has great defense, just knowing where I am all the time.
Steve's a very tough guard. He happens to be in a league with Jason Williams, so when you start with the point guards, you always start with Jason Williams, but Steve Blake is a great college point guard.
But Maryland wasn't perceived to be Duke's equal until the Terps could defeat Duke here at Cole and win the ACC regular season title, which, barring a collapse in their final 4 games, will become a reality. How rare is it for Maryland to win the ACC regular season title? Well, they've only done it 3 times in their history, twice outright. Duke's done it the last 5 seasons. Brad, you played in the ACC in North Carolina. How important was it for you to win the ACC regular season title?
Well, Andy, I think it's extremely important to win your regular season title, maybe only second to win a national championship. The ACC title regular season means you fought through the long, hard, arduous season and come out on top, especially in the ACC where the competition's tough, night in and night out. It's a great accomplishment if Maryland can finish the feat.
Well, on Maryland's checklist, now they've beaten Duke here at Cole. If they take care of business the rest of this season, then they've won the ACC regular season title. Then comes the ACC tournament, and then, more than likely, a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Let's go back to you in the studio.
Guys, thank you very much. There's so many ways to look at this. First, you have the seniors finally winning at Cole, finally beating Duke, and also, I think the whole fan base there thinking now, whoa, what's to stop us at all if this is what we did to #1? They're getting excited now.
You got to keep it in the right perspective. The best thing that happens in Maryland today, you won the game. Now, what's that do for the ACC? It puts a lock on 2 seeds, the East and the South in the NCAA tournament. Now, who gets to the East and who gets to the South? That's going to happen when we have the ACC championship, and hopefully it'll become Game 3 here on ESPN as we see who wins that 3rd game between Duke and Maryland.
Yeah, there will be more probably again in the ACC tournament, could be again in the NCAAs if you keep looking ahead. But the question now is, who should be #1? That's the question we put to you. Yep, Maryland was a #3, beating up a #1, took out the champ, Kansas, as Bob Knight said, relentless, unbeaten in the Big 12. Duke did split with the Terps, beat them up at home. Vote on ESPN.com. Digger explains who he has number one and will reveal the coaches poll, the actual poll, later in this half hour of College Hoops Tonight.